Alright, I did the Road Glide Limited. Now I am on a Street Glide.
Oh, you got to buy one now.
I know, I've got the fever. I'm on the Street Glide 120th anniversary special with the beautiful red paint job. This is a gorgeous bike. Let's see if I can remember how to crank this Harley. There we go. Had the kill switch off. I'm in that first group. I better get up there. Yeah, now I'm trying out the Batwing fairing versus the Road Glide fairing. Of course, this has the shorter windshield. That Limited had the taller windshield. Yep, it's got the idle shake. Typical Harley. I don't know who all else is in this group. There's the Limited version of the bike I'm on right now. That red. We're part of the group number 1. Bikers. I was saying on my other video, you can't beat the Harley community. Street Glide 120th anniversary. Whoa. This feels like it's got a little more power. I don't know if it's got the 117 on it or not. It might have the 117 instead of the 114. I'll have to figure that out when I get stopped. Maybe it just handles different with that Batwing fairing, because I ride a Indian Roadmaster with a Batwing style fairing. This one definitely feels peppier. Definitely feels peppier. Yeah, I just from where I'm sitting, I like this Batwing fairing better than the Road Glide fairing. Now the looks of the Road Glide fairing, coming down the road looks good. I like everything is nice and close. I feel like I get better wind protection with this Batwing because it is close, because I'm tall, I'm 6'1", and what are we doing here? Trying to keep people from getting up beside us, maybe? I think that's what he's doing, just securing the lane. Because they will try to squeeze in the group with us. They did that on the last ride. I think they'd be patient and let us go by, especially in this case. We've got 2 groups going out at our demo days here at Cowboy Harley Davidson, Beaumont, Texas. I made sure on my other video putting in a plug for Cowboy Harley. I'm going to do the same again. I've bought 4 brand new motorcycles in the last 20 years from Cowboy Harley and have incredible service. Sales, parts, accessories, everything. I mean, service after the sales. Incredible. And you have an awesome biker community all throughout the Harley-Davidson world. The local hog chapter is no exception. Even though now I'm riding an Indian, this is definitely part of my biker family. Got some aftermarket pipes on that one bike there. He may be on his personal bike, I'm not sure. I would think he'd be on one of the demo bikes, but maybe not. I think that's his personal bike there. The one on the left. Yeah, he's just keeping the lane secure for us. And Blue Road King there beside me. It is a wee bit warm to be April. I know I could push a button and it would tell me what the temperature is. So I don't know what button to push on this Harley Davidson. I think my Indian shows the temperature, or maybe I just keep it on a setting that shows my temperature all the time. Yeah, you get a shake at the idle that I don't get on my Indian, but the rubber mounted motor, once you start rolling, nice and smooth. Yeah, I'm not used to this idle shake. But my Indian can get buzzy at higher RPMs. And the nature of a balanced motor. Yeah, I guess it was probably last year, a few months ago, when the demo truck was here, we were getting up on the freeway, but you see the traffic there in my camera? 2 of the lanes are down to a crawl. Freeway wouldn't be any fun, but the good thing about the freeway is you can see how they do at highway speed. Whew, getting warm. Sweat my eyes already. Bike in front of me's got his radio going. Hopefully GoPro doesn't pick it up too much where I get a copyright strike. It's not the bike I'm riding, so it shouldn't be an issue unless it affects the sound quality of what you're hearing. Yeah, see, there's a CVO Road Glide Limited beside me. Yeah, I just think from the driver's seat, I prefer this batwing fairing. You know, some people say the fork-mounted fairing, you hit wind on the freeway, it moves your handlebars. I never really noticed on my Street Glide. My used to have a Ultra Classic, my Indian Roadmaster. I don't really feel the wind, even 18-wheeler turbulence. I don't think it affects the fairing enough to really notice. I probably need to, you know, spend a good hour on the freeway with the Road Glide, and then back to back an hour on the freeway with the Street Glide, and I don't know when I'd get that kind of opportunity. Oh yeah, this idle shake. After being on a Indian exclusively for almost 3.5 years, man, there's no shake at the idle, which Harley took the vast majority of the shake out of the motor with this new Milwaukee 8, which I really like the new Milwaukee 8 over the twin cam. The twin cam had more of a traditional sound. You can put some pipes on these. They still, the Harley sounds better than the Indian, that's for sure. Of course, you can put pipes on an Indian too and give them a growl, but nothing sounds like a Harley Davidson. No, this seat doesn't feel too bad. It's not as plush as that Limited I just rode. This one's got the shorter suspension than the Limited, but on just riding here on these little city streets, I may not be able to notice the difference in the suspension. Yeah, where it should show the, there's a gear indicator underneath it. I don't know what that letter R stands for, where it's got the miles, unless that's some kind of a trip thing. Alright, the light's going to catch us, and they said no right turn on red. The smaller group, I don't know if he'll try to do it or not. They said we'd wait. It's too hard to get everybody through the light. So people behind us may be cussing us if we don't turn right on red, but oh well. Yeah, Cowboy, Harley Davidson, Beaumont, Texas. If you're into Harleys or just into motorcycles, it's really a good dealership. 4 new bikes in 20 years there, and they've always taken care of me. Bought 2 Harleys that were used from individuals, 4 brand new ones from Cowboy Harley, and I've got the fever now. I've got the fever. Of course, if I bought one now to fit my budget, I'd probably need to trade my Indian in, and that's part of the problem. I really like my Indian. It would be a trade-off. I'd have to get used to, they're gonna turn right on red after all, and nobody's coming. And see, once you start rolling, that shake in an idle goes completely away. The motor is smoother than my Indian rolling. My Indian motor is smoother at an idle, but my Indian, different RPMs can get a little slight buzzy. I mean slight, that's higher RPMs, and you're really romping on it and run it up a little farther than you would normally do on a big heavy touring bike. You feel some vibration. But this one is shaking and idle, but no vibration, really rolling. Smooth. Okay, these roads are pretty smooth, so I'm not going to really get to test out the suspension. This definitely feels peppier than that Limited I just rode, but the Limited is heavier. The lowers, the trunk, the Limited has the small radiators, the liquid cooled heads. It's definitely hot. Yeah, this one's peppier than that Limited was. This one may be more comparable to my Indian pep wise, but like I say, I'm going to check when I get back to the dealership and see. I think this is the 114, but it could be the 117. I think you have to go to the STs to get the 117. So I'm going to say this is a 114, which that Limited I just rode was too, but surely the fairing wouldn't give you that much difference. No, it's the motor. It's just torquey. I don't know if they've added any cams or anything to this one or not. Sometimes the demo days, they'll have some bikes with cams and pipes, and it sounds stock. Yeah, this one's got some pep to it. If I was going to put my Roadmaster up against that Road Glide Limited I just rode, I feel like my Indian's got more torque, more grunt, at least seat of the pants. I don't know about actual torque numbers. Yeah, this one's peppy. Peppy. Yeah, I'm through there now. Now it's showing, I don't know what that R stood for, probably different trip meters. I don't know what that one bike's doing in that lane. We're supposed to be in the same lane, riding staggered. There we go, he's getting back over. I'm hoping the lead bike there will get down on it a little bit so I can. Of course, we're in the middle of town, so you can't go too fast. Can't go too fast. Yeah, I'm liking the Street Glide. It feels more sporty than the Road Glide. It just does. Yeah, it's got some torque. It's got some pep. Yeah. Now the Road Glide comes with 2 headlights. Street Glide has 1, but you can put the light bar or the driving lamps on the Street Glide, which then you go from 1 to 3. My Indian, oh, it's got some power. My Indian Roadmaster has the 3 lights. It came with the driving lights integrated into the fairing, along with the blinkers integrated into the fairing. Okay, the suspension feels plenty comparable right now. Of course, I'm not running 80 miles an hour and hitting some, rough freeway. Yeah, and you can't beat the sound of a Harley Davidson as far as the exhaust goes. Can't beat Harley when it comes to aftermarket and service and all those things. So if I traded my Indian in, though, I would give up. I like the look of the Indian. I think I would give up some looks, but this particular model's gorgeous, but it's the special edition with the special paint job. And I think the Harleys look pretty doggone good too. So looks pretty close. Now I would give up a lot of features, comfort, performance, except this one, maybe it's just not because it doesn't have the tour pack and the lowers on it. It's not as heavy. Doesn't have the radiators hanging on attached to the lower fairings. On this one, it's fully air cooled. Now the handlebars are lower on the Street Glide than the Road Glide. These are more about the height on my Indian. I'm getting ready to turn down here. Yeah, I'm not, obviously this route, we're not going to get to feel what it's like at highway speed, but that's okay. That freeway, you couldn't drive highway speed on that freeway anyway right now. Okay, so I'm coming to a stop. The typical Harley shake is coming back, but not near as bad as the old twin cans.
Channel 26, or rediscover pockets from
Oh, that's right. They decided no right turn on red, even though this is kind of a yield. Unless he thought we could all get out in a smaller group. He may go ahead and go after that one. Yep, he is. Small group, we can get out together. I don't know what we're doing here. I guess they just wanted us to get us another lane because of that car in the right hand lane, just to move back over. I'd have stayed in that outside lane probably, but I'm not leading. He who leads gets to decide, is what I say. My kids, what are we gonna eat? I say, well, he who buys gets to decide. If I'm buying, I get to decide. But my children aren't too picky. Actually, if I get something they really don't care for, they'll eat it anyway. Sometimes I say, look, I worked hard to make that money, and I bought it. I get to decide. You can eat it or eat a sandwich when you get home, so they don't complain. They'd usually rather eat what I buy than the sandwich at home. Yeah. Oh, that I'm not used to the shaking at an idle. I know I've kind of a broken record on that. I had heard one time that they completely engineered all the shake. I don't know which lane he wants us in there. I'd heard they engineered all the shake out of this Milwaukee 8, and people were so used to the shake they put some back in. I don't know if that's really true or not. You know, there's always some urban legends out there, biker legends. I know the Pan America and that new Nightster, those motors don't have any idle shake, but they don't have the character that the Milwaukee 8 or the twin cam or any of the previous Harley motors have. I mean, they call Harley Davidson the motor company for a reason. I mean, they're known for their motors, and in this era they're known for quality, fit, and finish. You can't hardly beat a Harley. Well, I think the only way Harley is poor on fit and finish is the lower fork tubes. Now if they're painted or chrome, they're fine. Okay, this suspension's not bad, a little stiffer than mine, but say on the lower fork tubes, if they're just that polished metal, they corrode within a year, at least living down here close to the coast, where mine on my Indian are chrome, so they're good to go. Okay, we're going to speed up just a tad. Well, we're only going about, well, we were maybe going 5 over the speed limit, or I was. You know, you start to drift behind that lead bike, maybe doing the speed limit. If you drift back a little bit, you got to catch back up. Hope that cord to my microphone wasn't blowing in front of the lens. That would get kind of distracting. I use a external mic, the Purple Panda. If I see it blowing, I hope it gets, if you see something blowing in front of the camera lens, it's just my microphone. I've got a headset, I've got a helmet with a built-in headset, and I'm real curious to see if I can Bluetooth it to my GoPro and use the built-in microphone. I'm going to try. I'll have to get my son to see if he can figure that out. I'm kind of technologically challenged. He's the one that synced my headset to my phone. Hey, this is nice. Suspension's a little stiffer. Of course, they've got that dial. I never could find the sweet spot on my last Street Glide. If I had one of these eventually, I'd probably want to upgrade the rear. Yeah, that's a little stiff going over these bridge expansion joints and things. Yeah, it's definitely stiffer than my air shock on my Indian. But neither bike is perfect. Harley, I've said all along, does a much better job of heat management. My right thigh gets kind of toasty on my Indian. And don't get me wrong, I can feel some heat off this Harley, but not near as much as I do my Indian. Yeah, this Harley sound good. I may succumb to my Harley fever and trade my Indian. But I ride a lot of miles, and I don't plan on retiring anytime soon. Another concern, if I go ahead and pull the trigger on a bike now, I might wear it out before I retire. Or if I keep my Indian and try to make it last as long as I can, then, you know, 5-10 years down the road, maybe pull the trigger and have a fresh bike, or fresher, or newer, when I do finally get ready to retire. But I love what I do. Don't plan on retiring anytime soon. Yeah, these Harleys are nice. If you like Harleys, buy a Harley. If you like Indians or want something with a little better suspension, maybe more features, a little more comfort, you know, the Indian's not a bad choice either. I don't regret I have owned 3 Indians, 6 Harley Davidsons, Hondas, Yamahas, 1 Kawasaki. They've all been great bikes. My 2 favorite brands though are Indian and Harley Davidson. If you were going to pin me down to which my overall favorite bike is my Indian Roadmaster. It just, you know, if I was going to rate all the bikes I've owned with all the major things from looks, comfort, features, performance, my Indian Roadmaster would win. The Harley Limited wouldn't be far behind, I don't think, because it would have the same batwing fairing this Street Glide has on it, and the Harley Limited would have the taller rear shocks. Like the bike directly in front of me is the Harley. Limited. Yeah, this one's got plenty of torque. I don't know why. Seems more torquey other than weight than the one I just test drove, the Road Glide Limited. Now if I get off and see it has a 117, I go, oh okay, but if it's the 114, it's the same motor that I just test drove. I really enjoy these demo days. You know, you can ride any bike that you've got a motorcycle license. You just sign up and you can ride everything they've got. Ride to your little heart's content. I've, you know, ridden things over on the power sports side. I rode some naked Yamahas that I would normally never test drive. They were a lot of fun, you know, just running around in town. You know, I wouldn't want to do freeway. This is the way we should have went earlier. We got separated and didn't know which way to go and had to go down and do a U-turn with the bikes. Cowboy Harley Davidson, Beaumont, Texas. Yeah, when it comes to the biker community, Harley Davidson is king, but they've been doing it non-stop since 2003. 1903. I'll get right in a minute. It's 1903. Non-stop. Where Indian started in 1901, but they went dormant for a very, very long time. Well, Harley, of course, Harley had their unfortunate AMF years. Let's see. Yeah, that crazy R letter just had something to do with the trip number of his own. I put it on just the regular miles. This bike's only got, I think, 529 miles. Yeah, I got it in neutral. Dead. I'm going to check. 114. It does have a 114. I guess the difference in the weight between it and the Road Glide Limited. This one definitely felt more peppy. Gorgeous bike. I love that color. I wouldn't be, if I bought one, I would not be able to afford the anniversary edition with the special paint. They, you know, they charge extra for all that stuff. I got a Street Glide. It'd have to be a base model.